Hey guys, how you going? Hey guys, I want to tell you about the sponsor of this video, who's a business that actually supports the truth. It's EMF Harmonised, and they sell EMF protection technology. The technology filters out the harmful RF waves, radio frequency waves, and has been scientifically proven to do so. Since you're using a computer, phone or tablet right now to watch this video, the EMFs are actually damaging our DNA as we speak. In other words, consider getting some EMF protection from the link below, as you'll protect yourself, you'll help the growth of my channel, and you'll help a fellow truth supporting business. And I will definitely be ordering something. Some sort of protection, guys. So look at this. This is really good. It's exactly what some people would want. And the link will be down below. Okay, guys, before we start, I'd like to thank James for the donation to PayPal and a new Patreon, City. Thank you very much. I hope I said that correctly. I really appreciate that, guys. Okay, let's just get on with this and see how we go. Court reinstates fraud conviction for Hunter Biden business partner. Devon Archer was convicted of defrauding the Oglala Sioux Indian tribe out of bond sale proceeds. Oh, that's not good. A federal appeals court reinstated the fraud conviction of Hunter Biden's former business partner on Wednesday, reversing a lower court judge who had granted his request for a retrial. Hunter Biden was not implicated in the scheme which defrauded the Oglala Sioux Indian tribe out of the proceeds of bond sales. I hope I'm saying that right, guys. Correct me if I'm wrong, please. But the scheme was committed under the auspices of a broader business venture in which Hunter Biden was involved, and the perpetrators invoked his name to bolster their legitimacy, according to testimony and a consultant's slide presentation presented at trial. A lawyer for Hunter Biden has said his name was invoked without his knowledge and that he cut ties with the perpetrators when he learned of their misconduct. Devon Archer, whose conviction was reinstated by Wednesday's ruling, had partnered with Hunter Biden in Rosemont Seneca, a Washington-based investment firm. Starting in 2014, the pair served together on the board of Burisma, a Ukrainian natural gas company accused of corruption, at the same time that his father oversaw US policy towards Ukraine. Hunter Biden has called his decision to take the board and seat a mistake, while Joe Biden has defended the decision, saying, "My son did nothing wrong." A lawyer for Archer, Matthew Schwartz, decried the ruling by the Second Circuit Court of Appeals, as the experienced federal judge who presided over Mr. Archer's month-long trial determined he lacked the requisite intent and is thus innocent of the crimes charged, Schwartz said. Today's ruling, which second-guesses that judge's decision without having sat through the evidence and listened to the witnesses, is beyond disappointing. Archer was convicted in June 2018 of securities fraud and conspiracy to commit securities fraud, but 5 months later, trial judge Ronnie Abrams of the Southern District Court of New York overturned the conviction. Remember this name. In its ruling, the Second Circuit wrote that the district court abused its discretion in overturning the jury's verdict. Okay, now remember that. Judge wed to Mueller team member steps away from Trump suits. A federal judge who's married to a new member of Robert Mueller's investigative team has stepped aside from lawsuits involving President Donald Trump and his business empire, court records show. Greg Andre, a New York lawyer and former Justice Department prosecutor who specialized in foreign bribery and fraud, has joined the team of lawyers investigating potential coordination between Russia and the Trump campaign, a spokesman for the group said Wednesday. Andre is married to Ronnie Abrams, a federal judge in Manhattan who presided over the lawsuits that accused Trump of violating the Constitution's emoluments caused by letting his business accept money from foreign governments. That's the same judge who dropped the case, overturned the case, for Biden's business dealing, okay? So, one of the cases brought by Citizens for Responsibility and Ethics in Washington, a legal non-profit group that advocates for good government, and another was brought by New York attorney William Weinstein. Is there any connection from William Weinstein to the other Weinstein? I'm sure there would be somewhere along the line. Court entries from last month show that cases have been reassigned to another judge, George Daniels. No reason was given, and a call to Abrams' chambers was referred to a spokesman for the court, who confirmed that Abrams has recused herself from the Crew matter under a section of the US Code that deals with judicial procedure. The development comes as Trump's legal team is looking into potential conflicts surrounding Mueller's team, including the backgrounds of members and political contributions by some members to Hillary Clinton. Politico first reported the recusal. Mueller was appointed as special counsel in May following the firing of James Comey as FBI director. Mueller himself, as a former FBI director, has assembled a team of prosecutors and lawyers with experience in financial fraud, national security and organised crime to investigate contacts between Moscow and the Trump campaign. Oh, my cat nearly fell off. Whoops. And then this one here. Now, I'm reading, these came from the board, okay? So, there was other writing there too, and I would encourage anybody to go there and look for yourself at what it says. It's getting nearly impossible to do it on here. Okay, this is from Reuters. New York, Reuters, a former US Justice Department official, has become the latest lawyer to join special counsel Robert Mueller's team investigating Russia's interference in the 2016 presidential election, a spokesman for the team confirmed. Oh dear God, they're still carrying this on. Well, the board pointed this out for some reason, and I think it was to tie that judge who dropped the fraud conviction after a jury obviously approved it. The actual conviction in the first place, I mean. And then the judges come in and overruled the jury and dropped it. And now they have to recuse themselves, and this one here as well. Greg Andres started on Tuesday, becoming the 16th lawyer on the team, said Josh Steve, a spokesman for the special counsel. Most recently, a white-collared criminal defence lawyer with New York law firm Davis, Polk and Wardell. Andre, 50, served as at the Justice Department from 2010 to 2012. He was Deputy Assistant Attorney General in the Criminal Division, where he oversaw the fraud unit and managed the program that targeted illegal foreign bribery. Oh, is that why they all got in? Is that why he was one of the ones allowing it? See, they're working for whatever they say, turn it round the other way. Mueller, who was appointed special counsel in May, is looking into possible collusion between the Trump campaign and Russia during election, among other matters. Congressional committees are also investigating the matter. That Mueller continues to expand his team means the probe is not going to end anytime soon, said Robert Kay, who succeeded Kenneth Starr as independent counsel for the Whitewater investigation during the Clinton administration. It's an indication that the investigation is going to extend well into 2018, said Ray. Whether it extends beyond 2018 is an open question. Okay. The special counsel last month asked the White House to preserve all its communications about June 16 meeting that included the Donald Trump Jr., his son-in-law, advisor Jared Kushner, and Russian lawyer Natalia Veselnitskaya. Sorry, guys. Russian officials have denied meddling in the US election, and Trump denies. These are older This one seems to be an older older articles. When's it from? 2017. And most recent. Okay, so there's a mix here, but it explains it. They explain each other. Okay, so I'll put all these links down below. I'm going to go to something else now. Okay, and this one here, I'll go to this first. Alexandra Chalupa. Steve Bannon is a terrorist more dangerous to the United States than Osama bin Laden ever was. He belongs in a high-security prison for life. Any journalist or news outlet treating him as anything but code red threat is aiding and abetting the enemy. Everyone is on notice. Oh. And Steve Bannon warns Joe Biden much more evidence to come. You're going to be buried in an avalanche of corruption and how you've sold out the US. Biden family have stolen money from the Chinese people to enrich themselves. War room pandemic at Hunter Biden. And this is panic. She's panicking. Watch this. Who is Alexandra Chalupa? The DNC operative Republicans say dug for dirt on Trump. Okay, that's her there, obviously. A new cast of characters emerged at Wednesday's impeachment hearing, including Alexandra Chalupa, a former Democratic National Committee contractor and staffer who dug for dirt on the Trump campaign with help from Ukraine officials. Chalupa, a Ukrainian-American who calls herself a human rights lobbyist, made a cameo minutes into the opening statement of House Intelligence Committee ranking member Rep. Devin Nunes, in which he rallied against Democrats' secretive impeachment process. Violating their guidelines, Democrats repeatedly redacted from transcripts the name of Alexandra Chalupa, a contractor for the Democratic National Committee who worked with the Ukrainian officials to collect dirt on the Trump campaign, which she provided to the DNC and the Hillary Clinton campaign, Nunes said. Chalupa is the founder of a Washington political consulting firm and is co-chair of the DNC's Ethnic Council, which reaches out to diaspora groups around the country to increase voter turnout, according to her LinkedIn. But her most important role to date appears to be her investigation into Paul Manafort, President Trump's former campaign manager, with his ties with Russia, which she conducted with the help of Ukraine officials. The investigation provoked a firestorm in 2017, and prominent Republicans such as Senator Chuck Grassley publicly accused Chalupa of working with Ukraine, the DNC and the Clinton campaign to undermine Trump candidacy. Chalupa denies the claims, telling CNN she was a part-time consultant during the 2016 election and that DNC officials never asked her to go to the Ukrainian embassy to collect information. I was not an opposition leader for the DNC, and the DNC never asked me to go to the Ukrainian embassy to collect information, she said, July 2017. The Democratic staffer said it was her Ukrainian-American heritage that made her aware of Manafort's consulting work for Viktor Yanukovych, a former Ukrainian president with ties to Moscow. When it was announced that the Trump campaign hired Manafort, many Ukrainian Americans were alarmed and concerned. It was an early signal that Russian President Vladimir Putin was trying to influence the US election, Chalupa said. At that time, I flagged for the DNC the significance of his hire based on information in the public domain, she added. While she admitted to having a couple of meetings with Ukrainian officials, they had nothing to do with Manafort, Trump or Clinton. Still, a Politico investigation published in November 2017 detailed how Ukrainian government officials tried to help Hillary Clinton and undermine Trump, and named Chalupa as the Democratic operative who met with Ukraine officials to try to expose ties between Trump and Russia. Republicans last month named Chalupa as one of the witnesses they wanted to testify during this month's impeachment hearings, and on Tuesday, she told Politico she was on a mission to testify. But she wasn't called on and instead took to Twitter on Wednesday morning to defend herself and claim she was the victim of a Russian misinformation plot. Russia, Russia, Russia. For the last 4 years, I've been a target of the Kremlin's cyber warfare and disinformation warfare, including conducted by the GRU and Putin's top spokespeople, Chalupa told her 48,000 followers. In Congress, you've elevated Moscow's disinformation attacks targeted me, an American. Please explain why, she wrote. Yep, she's delusional, and that's what panic looks like. And this was from 2019. Okay, and the next post was this, and telling you this is a system of control. That's all the next post said was system of control. They also said apply logic and common sense. Do not do this. Do not put these on. Do not do this. I hope you can see that word. Do not wear them. Do not cover your mouth. And the next one was this one here. And sorry, I've had to cut that off. The Democrat Party and mainstream media, the marriages. Susan Rice, married to Ian Cameron. She was in the Obama administration. He is in ABC News. Ben Rhodes was in the Obama administration. David Rhodes is on CBS News. They're brothers. Liz Sherwood from the Obama administration is married to Ben Sherwood of ABC News. Tom Knights, Clinton admin, is married to Virginia Mosley on CNN. Jay Carney from the Obama admin is married to Claire Shipman, ABC News. Katie Hogan from the Obama administration is married to Matthew Jaffe, ABC News. Valerie Jarrett from the Obama administration is the mother of Laura Jarrett, CNN. Jim Squito was from the Obama administration. Sorry, I can't read, that's really hard. Is married to Gloria Rivera from ABC News. And Andrew Cuomo, the Dem governor, is brothers with Chris Cuomo from CNN. One big happy family. Yeah, and I'm making them big and trying to cut the bottom off them so that nothing's really showing there that would... Ooh, barely. Okay. Another one. Alphabet and Google, Sergey Brin. Okay? Was married to Anne Wojcicki, co-founder of 23andMe. Sister of Susan Wojcicki, CEO of YouTube net worth. Yeah. Oh, I don't know about you guys. These people, I mean, not you guys. Okay, and this one here, I've got it up on the other screen so I can read it to you. It says, why is the FBI's top child porn lawyer involved in the H. Biden laptop case? Special Agent Joshua Wilson, do you see a pattern? And it continues on from the last one. Then they go on to just keep saying, do you see a pattern? So the rest of the, I'll see if I can get them up. Now what he's done is he's put a couple of older articles up. But this one was from Breitbart. Eric Prince, NYPD ready to make arrests in Anthony Weiner's case. And this one from the 25th of September. The GAP report claims H. Biden paid women linked to prostitution or human trafficking ring. But it also said it could not confirm allegations. Okay, among the deluge of explosive claims tucked inside the new Senate Republican report about Hunter Biden's business dealings is the allegation that the Democratic presidential nominee's son has a history of paying Russian or Eastern European women linked to sex trafficking. I'm sure you've already heard most of this. But for those who haven't, I'm going to read it. While the 87-page report was released on Wednesday, provided few specific details regarding the allegation, it pointed to a number of Russian and Ukrainian connected transactions. H. Biden paid non-resident women who were nationals of Russia or other Eastern European countries and who appeared to be linked to an Eastern European prostitutional human trafficking ring, read the report from the Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs and Finance Committees. Hunter Biden makes rare appearance at Democratic National Convention. The GOP report did not link Biden in any way to trafficking, but suggested that he potentially paid prostitutes, presumably without knowledge, who may have stemmed from such rings, so they're trying to cover for him. There's an extensive public reporting concerning Biden's alleged involvement in prostitution services, the report said. But the reports also said it could not confirm the allegations in a new radio show. In an interview on a radio show hosted this week. I need to make this bigger. The Senate Homeland Security Committee Chairman Ron Johnson acknowledged we don't have a great deal of information on it. The report describes several scenarios. Records on file with the committees do not directly confirm or refute these individual reports. However, they do confirm that H. Biden sent thousands of dollars to individuals who've either 1. Been involved in transactions consistent with possible human trafficking. 2. An association with the adult entertainment industry. Or 3. Potential association with prostitution. Some recipients of those funds are Ukrainian and Russian citizens. The Biden campaign did not comment to Fox News on the allegation, but earlier in the week, Biden campaign spokesman Andrew Bass blasted the investigation into H. Biden's business history. I'm saying it like that, trying to avoid the algorithm. Claiming Republicans were pursuing a conspiracy theory with the probe. Yeah, well, it's turning out not to be such a conspiracy theory now, isn't it? H. Biden has admitted to personal struggles in past years, including addiction and problems with his marriage. Yeah, a lot of people go through this sort of thing and don't turn out like this. But a lot of people are saying this guy's turned. According to multiple experts who specialise in investigating and halting sex trafficking globally, webs that emanate from Eastern Europe are among the most brutal and barbaric in the treatment of the victims. Sex trafficking is a serious problem we face today. Organised crime is drawn to it because it's highly profitable. And unlike the other sources of revenue such as guns or drugs, one victim can create recurring revenues for the organisation over time. Zach Smith, a legal fellow at the Heritage Foundation, told Fox News. If there's a suggestion of potential sex trafficking, further investigation may be warranted. If someone patronises a victim of sex trafficking, they are participating in that person's victimisation and are likely helping to fund further victimisation and criminal activities. As can be expected, violence, drugs, money laundering and more are often associated with those engaged in organised sex trafficking, Smith said. But that's merely the tip of the iceberg, he said. Air Force Lieutenant Colonel Rudolph Atala, a former advisor in the U.S. Office of the Secretary of Defense and now CEO of the White Mountain Research, which focuses on foiling foreign trafficking rings, told Fox News that much of the revenue from sex trafficking in the Eastern Bloc ends up funding organ harvesting farms and terrorist groups across the Middle East. Dear me. Atala also pointed out that the vast majority of rings are operated by wealthy oligarchs in the region who don't even think twice about any implications beyond the billions made from such a side business per year. And there we have a problem. Like a bigger problem. A huge problem. A lot of these networks are really nasty criminals and what they do is heart-wrenching, he said. Most of the victims are young, poor, kidnapped or refugees. They might be looking for jobs in other countries and these networks take them in, take away their passports, and then it's impossible for them to get out. Tony Cheyenne, a chairman of the Mosaic Security Intelligence Group and founder of HumanSlavery.com, which endeavours to draw attention to these inhumane international enterprises, concurred that many organised crime syndicates, as well as terrorist organisations, now also focus on human traffic as a revenue source, and specifically turn to wealthy Western types to fund their illegal activities. So who's funding the terrorists? Human trafficking always needs further investigation, he said. The syndicates are powerful and well-funded, and mostly they are ruthless. Trafficking in human beings, which is defined by the European Commission as the buying and selling of women, girls, men and boys, is characterised by having hugely deleterious consequences for individuals, society and the economy. The EC's 2018 report, which draws on data from 2014 to 2016, notes that sexual exploitation is the most common form of exploitation, accounting for over half, 56%, of registered victims of trafficking in human beings. Children were 23% of the registered victims of trafficking in human beings for sexual exploitation. The form of exploitation is similar for EU and non-EU citizens. For EU citizens, this is sexual, 57% labour, 31%, and other, 11%. The report continued. For non-EU citizens, this is sexual, 51%, labour, 32%, and other, 17%. Around 3/4 of those suspected, prosecuted, or convicted for trafficking in human beings are male. Suspects were 71% male. Those prosecuted were 75% male, and those convicted were 71% male throughout the 2015-16 time period. Trafficking in human beings is a grave violation of human rights and a serious and organised crime, with a significantly higher number of victims than those made visible by official counting methods, the EC emphasised. Measuring trafficking in human beings is challenging. On Thursday, Jim Jordan, ranking member of the United States House Committee on the Judiciary, sent a letter to FBI Director Christopher Wray questioning whether the Bureau has taken any steps since the report was unveiled on Wednesday, and in particular raised the notion that H. Biden has allegedly sent thousands of dollars to individuals involved in human trafficking and organised prostitution, and questioned whether the FBI was probing the matter. The report by Chairman Johnson and Chairman Grassley show that the FBI has been aware of some alleged misconduct for years, Johnson wrote. A spokesperson for the FBI confirmed to Fox News that they'd received the letter but declined any further comment. The personal and professional pursuits of H. Biden came under increased scrutiny over the last year amid the impeachment inquiry and trial involving President Trump and charges of misconduct in his dealings with Ukraine and suggestions that he pressured Kiev to investigate the Biden family's business interests and subsequently withheld military aid. H. Biden, despite no specific experience in the oil and gas industry, joined the board of Ukraine energy firm Burisma in 2014. At the time, his father and then Vice President Joe Biden was at the helm of US-Ukrainian relations and policy for the Obama administration and was tasked with stamping out corruption between the private and public sectors. The report additionally stated that several Obama officials, I'm saying that on purpose, knew as early as 2015 that H. Biden's position on the board of Burisma was problematic and that it interfered in the efficient execution of policy with respect to Ukraine, but that efforts by officials to address anxieties fell on deaf ears. Trump was ultimately acquitted on both articles of impeachment, obstruction of Congress and abuse of power in February. And yet the mainstream media won't report on that. People still don't know. They still think he's been impeached. Okay. And the Trump administration directs $35 million in grants toward housing for human trafficking survivors. Anyway, moreover, the impeachment spotlight has also drawn national attention to more nefarious aspects of H. Biden's life too, ranging from a history of cocaine use, which resulted in him being kicked out of the Navy Reserve in 2014, and raised questions over how he received an age waiver to join in the first place, to his relationship with the widow of his deceased brother, to an affair with a stripper, which he ended up fathering a child, and last year became embroiled in a court battle concerning child support. Yet dubious and potentially criminal foreign dealings at H. Biden's behest continue to gain momentum. Just weeks away from the hotly contested 2020 election, of which Joe Biden is the Democratic nominee. Johnson, R. Weiss, and Financial Committee Chairman Chuck Grassley, Johnson and Finance Chairman Chuck Grassley said there remains much work to be done in their probe, and it remains to be seen if the preliminary findings will have any negative effect on Joe Biden's final stretch ahead of the November showdown. Well, it's coming out now. Yet others contend that even in the light of the trafficking suspicions, the report essentially exonerates the Biden family until now. The Republican inquiries found no wrongdoing by the Bidens. The report rehashes unproven allegations, surmised Kelly Hyman, a federal trial attorney and senior political strategist. There are no smoking guns. There was no evidence. Okay, we can see whose side she's on. There was no evidence of improper influence or wrongdoing. Okay, so who's this Kelly Hyman? She's obviously on the DS. A representative for H. Biden did not respond to further requests for comments, but both father and son have previously denied any wrongdoing related to Hunter's work abroad. A source involved in the campaign emphasised that the report has no sources or legal verification, and that the bipartisan report has been widely dismissed, even by members of the Republican Party. That's because this is not a party thing. There's people on both sides involved in this. But it's coming out now, and the reason I was reading these older ones also is to refresh people's memories of what these people have denied and said. They denied this. Okay, now it's starting to come out. So, I'm going to leave this here, hopefully. Oh, hang on. Maybe not. What do we have in here? I've put a lot in here. Okay, from Major Patriot. Confirmed, H. Biden advanced thousands of dollars in transactions consistent with possible human trafficking, the adult entertainment industry, or potential association with prostitution. Some recipients of those funds were Ukrainian Russian citizens. Okay, and then from Yig at Yig Star House. Okay. What is this? I tripped across these earlier in my travels. People have been questioning their legality because they were handwritten. Since they came without any link to follow them back to for more proof, people have been sketchy about them. Understandable. I thought perhaps they were just the handwritten notes to be typed up at a later time. Proud Patriot Lisa, Proud Maga 12 had these notes originally and can be found here. Good news, another follower, Mercy Warren, United as one, was kind enough to post the proof and pasted that they were indeed filed. I'll post two first so you can focus more on what you're reading that comes after. Farnsworth versus Biden. Ooh, okay. Oh, hang on. Sorry, guys. And so they have been filed. You can see that. Now on to the nitty-gritty of the matter. These notes seem to be showing that J&J Biden, or both of them, paid off another fellow to drive his truck into the car that killed Neslia, Hunter Biden, and Amy Biden. You can read the whole sort of story, charges below, in the 5 pages of handwritten notes. As always, the graphics are clickable to enlarge. I know no more than you do, except for what I've read, same as you. I can only speculate on anything after the read, same as you. And this is a civil complaint authorised by by state law of rights secured by the Constitution of the United States. The court has jurisdiction on 28. There it goes. Okay, this is a bit hard to read. Farnsworth seeks declaratory relief pursuant to these sections. Plaintiff Farnsworth claims for injunctive relief are authorised by this section. Okay, is there a way of... I've got to go back to the next one. Okay. United States District Court of Delaware is an appropriate venue under this section because it's where events giving rise to these claims occurred. Plaintiff Farnsworth is a third party to the unnecessary death of two of the Bidans, the ones that were killed in the car accident. Farnsworth witnessed a criminal payoff by J. Bidan. Does that say Junior? On about October 1572 to a 40-ish-year-old black man who may have collaborated with J. Bidan and J. Bidan, who was having a 1-year affair with Joseph R. Bidan. Oh dear. What a tangled web we weave. While both were married to each other's spouses. I think that says... I don't know if that says Junior or what. There is circumstantial evidence that both Neela Bidan and daughter Amy Bidan were murdered on about December the 1872 in Wilmington, DA area. Okay, I don't think I should read any more of this. But I'll put the link down below. I'll read little bits of it. Wrongful death by design. Scheme to deny the right to life. Liberty and pursuit of happiness without due process afforded. At the time, the lady Bidan was the mistress to J. Bidan, and so knowingly committed adultery with him at least a year prior to the murder of the kids. Defendant Jill Bidan is being alleged to have committed wanton misconduct in the murder of both. Oh dear God. Okay. They're kids. Someone's kids. Or someone's wife. The ex-wife maybe and the kid. Is that right? I don't know. Oh. Bidan did so push the Bidan Chevrolet station wagon into the traffic of the tractor-trailer driven by defendant Curtis C. Dunn, then speeding away through the drive-through of a corner business. Co-defendant H. Bidan, during the investigation, failed to disclose the motive, intent of death, and orchestrated a lie to cover. Oh. Okay, this will be up on Bitchute if it gets taken down off here. Oh. Crimes of murder by design. It's also alleged in the complaint that the lady of the Bidan was H. Bidan's babysitter, so there was an opportunity. Furthermore, H. Bidan, in the act of being in conflict of interest, was on the corporate board of a Ukraine company while father was the sitting vice president. A recent Senate investigation did so find that acts and or omissions by H. Bidan benefited from Ukraine government contracts while a US citizen. Defendants from the Delaware Police Department continue to protect, both of them, from investigations. Okay, I'm gonna let you read the rest of this. There is a lot there. Wow, that's a good one. Oh, what tangled webs we weave. Okay, so slowly there's more coming out, guys. I'm going to leave it there for today. And I just want to thank you all for sticking with me and being here. And thank God I'm still here. So far, so good. And don't forget to check out the affiliate link down below if you're worried about 5G at all. Feel free to go and have a look. And I appreciate those who have. I appreciate all my PayPals, my Patreons, all of you guys, okay? I really do, even if you listen and even if you don't comment or don't say anything. I appreciate it, guys. Okay, I'll have a good one and I'll be back very soon. Okay, guys. Bye.